What's up, y'all? This is Graham, another episode of the Groovy Files, and today I got my man Jay with me.
What's good?
And today we will be talking about what is the Mount Rushmore for Southern rap. And I've been seeing this debate a lot on Twitter, and I ain't gonna lie to y'all. And they gonna cook me for this, but I don't care, man. I feel like, well, specifically, not even just Southern rap, specifically Atlanta. I feel like too many people are discounting the 2000s rappers that came before Future and Thug, and saying Future and Thug are automatically on the Mount Rushmore, and like forgetting the other guys like Luda, Jeezy, Ti, Gucci, all the other stuff. Even though I do think Future and Thug do have cases. So right off the bat, I'll say this: there is no Southern Mount Rushmore that's good without Outkast. I don't know how many times I gotta tell y'all that shit. If there is no Andre 3000 and Big Boy on your list, your Mount Rushmore is invalid as fuck. I'm sorry. That's like my non. That's my non-negotiable, man. It's just not valid.
Okay, let me
And honestly, without Scarface either.
yeah, okay. That's what I was about to ask. So is this for Atlanta or is it for the South as a whole?
This is for the we can do the South and Atlanta.
Okay, because that's gonna be very difficult. But but we can okay. Okay. So do you want me to go or are you going?
I'll go first. Okay, so my Mount Rushmore for Southern rap, I think would have to be Outkast, Scarface. I'm very inclined to say Ti, but I'm gonna go Outkast, Scarface, UGK, and 3 6 Mafia. I'm just gonna do entities. I'm not gonna do. Uh, I can't do
Nah, no,
single rappers for that.
you doing right. You doing right. It's gonna be. I mean, it's already difficult, but it's gonna be even
I
more
don't.
difficult.
I don't know for Scarface though. Like I'm very inclined to swap him out for somebody else because I'm trying to think. But I think there's just no way. I definitely have to put Outkast, 3 6 Mafia, and UGK in there.
Okay. I actually like that. I like that for. I feel like what makes it so difficult is because the South is so wide ranging and there's so many different sounds that it's difficult to only choose four acts to encapsulate that. So yeah, I do think I think Outkast has to be there. I think Scarface or the Ghetto Boys, whichever way you want to put it, I think they have to be there as well. 3 6 Mafia, I think is non-negotiable because I mean the Memphis sound has, especially the way that music is right now, like their DNA is everywhere. Um, there's so many there's so many that can go in that fourth spot because I love UGK. Um, you got Ludacris, Ti, Jeezy, Gucci. Um, Future. If it was just Atlanta, well, we'll probably get to that in a minute. But yeah, it's tough to do because there's so many different sounds that have come from this region that it's hard to just say, oh, we can limit it to four because you feel like there's gonna be something that you're missing. There's gonna be there's gonna be a, I don't even want to say subgenre. I want to say like it feels like a layer is missing if you
It's
limited
just
it to four.
it's so much nuance to this that it would pretty much be unfair. This is what I'll say, like for any Mount Rushmore for like music, for like not even music, just like specifically hip hop. It's just you're giving four people, it's just too much talent to be like, okay, these are four Mount Rushmore, everything like that. Because like for the South, you can put so many names, bro. Like
Like not even
although I think Outkast is a definitive number one, that's the non-negotiable for me. I feel like the names I'll put in the running, I'll put this. I think these names have to be in there, just in the conversation. I think it has to be Outkast in the conversation, Ghetto Boys in the conversation, 3 6 Mafia in the conversation, UGK in the conversation, Jeezy, Ti, Gucci Mane. Are we clowning Clips?
no,
Okay, that's what I thought. Ti,
because the
Future.
reason, and well, let me clarify. The reason I say no, because if you count the Clips, then you have to count Timbaland, you have to count Missy Elliott, you have to count Pharrell. Like you, like and
It's a
it's
can of
difficult
worms.
enough. It's difficult enough as it is.
It's a can of worms.
Yeah.
Future, and then Thug. And this is the case for this is what I'll say. Even though I don't like people prematurely like putting Future and Thug over Outkast or anything like that in these conversations, I will say this. I think that what Future and Thug did for today's rap is just so apparent, like in terms of like very big on being melodic and kind of not really taken away from that traditional rap style somewhat. And I'll say this too. Somebody said a couple years ago, I can't remember who it is, so please excuse me for stealing your opinion. Sorry. It's mine now. I'm just playing. Not really. But somebody said, and I quote, Young Thug is the modern day old dirty bastard. And when you sit and think about it, it's kind of like you might be right.
Okay, I'm listening.
So like just like the way Thug raps in the way he raps is just so left field compared to a lot of other people, and I feel like it's valid if you want to use that comparison for him.
Okay. I've never heard anything like that before, but I think I see where you're coming from. I don't know if I'm all the way there, but you have to excuse me. That is pretty left field. I'm trying to wrap my head around it, but okay, I see what you're saying.
This nigga Jay, this nigga Jay is like, oh my goodness, this nigga sound dumb as fuck.
Nah, 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 nah. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just it's taking me like I get it. I get it. It's not a comparison I would have made, but I get what's being said.
Yeah. I'm glad as long as you get where I'm coming from, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Do we want to ease into another region? I think it'd be fun. I'm kind of inclined
Oh
to
wait,
do.
okay. Yes, I am down for that. Yes, but before we do that, I have to speak on the state of Georgia specifically, just because that's where I'm from. So I feel like I feel like that one is a little bit simpler just because I know what points I want to hit. So if we're looking at the state of Georgia and I'm choosing 4 acts, give me Outkast. Give me Jeezy.
Okay.
Give me Future.
Okay.
Okay. Now this last one is tough because I'm trying to
Wait, before you say it, I have a very good I have a very good I have a very good suspicion you are going to put Luda in there over T.I. and Thug.
Okay. Here's my thing. That's those three are the debate there.
Mm-hmm.
And it is difficult.
Give me let's break it down. Let's break it down. Okay. So
wait,
for
Gucci is also in there too. Gucci is also in there.
For Ludacris, well, let me go start with Gucci. Gucci Mane musically the sound is definitely there. But specifically, I've heard so many street rappers or like street niggas that do rap on the side, they have specifically said, hey, we rock with Gucci more. We rock with Gucci music more than Jeezy music. So I've just seen that a lot. Because I think the whole Gucci getting off of Gucci in the whole Pookie lot situation. Now Ludacris's case for me is his extreme creativity with the way he rhymes his words, his music videos, and him just being so he excuse me, he's so distinct compared to the other guys in the situation not named. I think his distinction is bigger than the other guys in the situation right now, like in terms of who we're talking about. I feel like there's I feel like you can point out less people influenced by Ludacris because of how distinct he is over a Jeezy or a Gucci or a Thug. Like Ludacris is that's not a knock to Ludacris. That's actually the opposite. Like, for example, you know how like with Andre 3000, like he's so unique that it's very few people that you can kind of tell like, okay, he's influenced by Andre 3000, like for sure. That's how I kind of feel about Ludacris too.
Okay. That's valid. It's all arbitrary and it's my list anyway. So I'm gonna go. I can put T.I. there.
This is what I'll say about
you hear
like,
I know you hear the conviction in that. Like it's difficult, man. Like this,
man,
like even like you see how wild it is to try to do it for a whole region. Like we narrowed it down to one state, really one city, and we still having trouble.
this is what I'll say about putting T.I. on there. He has a stronger taste than Gucci, Jeezy, and Thug. And I honestly want to say Future
Mm-hmm.
because even though I like Future, I play Future most out of all of them, and then it's probably Jeezy second. People forget how big Ti was back then. Yeah, it was Jeezy and it was definitely Jeezy and Gucci Mane battling, and of course Luda battling. But like Ti back in the day, like you can make the argument that if Wayne wasn't the biggest rapper, the Wayne was the biggest Southern rapper back then. I feel like Ti was like the second, like
Yeah. Yeah.
King, Urban Legend,
Urban Legend.
all these other stuff, and like they know the state. People were talking about like a couple weeks ago how man how 50 how Ti couldn't hang with 50 Cent in a battle. I ain't gonna
Yeah.
lie to y'all, man. That nigga
No,
could
man.
hang. That nigga got
Nah,
a
I do
strong
not.
20.
I don't agree with that at all. Like, not at all. Okay, yeah, we can. I can rock with Ti. I can rock with Ti in that fourth spot. But
So
so if you wanted to if you want to move on and do other, see, I feel like it would be fun to do other regions. I'm obviously not as well versed in those regions because this is the region I've lived in my whole life. So, but yeah, we can do that.
last thing I was gonna say, Big Crit has an argument too.
Yeah,
He's
he
low.
does.
He's
He
low on
does,
the
but
list.
he's similar to like he's farther down than some of the others
Yes,
we named for the
he has an
soul.
argument. He just has like the worst argument, but he's on the list.
Yeah, it's a lot of it is because of
He's just a product. He's more of a UG. He's a product of a lot of those rappers. Whereas
yeah,
like
like you can listen to Crit music, you can directly hear UGK, you can hear Scarface, Outkast, like you hear him being a descendant of them, of that sound in his music. So it's harder to include him because you're just like, well, why would you put him if you already put in somebody else? You see what I'm saying?
yeah,
But yeah, I'm with you.
but yeah, that's my argument. What I'm trying to think of a region we should do. I'm very inclined to do the West Coast, like very inclined. Uh, I think personally, I think honestly, I want to say NY is like not necessarily easy, but it's not necessarily hard because I feel like for real, like let's be for real, like is Rakim is you could do Rakim, Jay, Biggie, and Nas, and like that'd be it.
Yeah, like I feel like that's a valid one. I feel like the thing about NY and is similar to the South in a way because it's so broad and so much has stemmed from it. Like you think about it, you like, oh, you didn't say Coogee Rap, or you didn't say 50 Cent, or you didn't say Big Daddy Kane, or like even if you wanna, you didn't say, like, you didn't mention Foxy Brown, Lil Kim, Nicki Minaj. Like there's so, like, the New York is so broad, as small of a state as it is, like physically, there's so many different ways to touch on it that there's no wrong way to approach it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like you can't. I feel like there's rappers that have bigger cases, but also like there's just strong arguments for there's just strong arguments for so many people.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like it's one of them things. Like, and it's a lot like the South where it's just like, I mean, of course you might have a non-negotiable one here and there, but at some point you just like, I mean, hey man, your taste is your taste. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's my thoughts on New York. I don't have a a definitive top four of any kind. Because like I said, there's so many ways to look at it. What about? Ugh, I don't like this. I don't like this shit. It's like, all right, I'm listening. What you think about?
Wait, the next region I had in mind was West Coast.
Okay.
For the West Coast, I'd have to say.
Wait. I was gonna say is NWA non-negotiable? The reason I ask is because you got Cube and you got Dre and Eazy-E. It feels like it's so easy to just one stone knock all of that out. Like it saves you some. It's like it almost saves you some space. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny how we talked about New York and didn't mention the Wu-Tang Clan at all.
Damn, I think this is how deep New York is.
Yeah, it's deep, man. Like there's, and I knew I was forgetting somebody when I was even rattling off names. Even after you said it, I knew I was forgetting somebody still. But yeah, that's just the way it is. It's hard to do. When we talked about the South, we didn't say Lil Wayne. Like
it's kind of crazy. Wait,
it's just like
because
there's so many arguments for so many people. Like you're bound to leave somebody out.
But before they cook me, does Lil Wayne have an argument over Scarface?
Possibly.
What is the argument?
All right, so a lot of it is based on what we remember. Like obviously you can hear influence from rappers like Scarface and Jay-Z in Wayne in his raps, but it's like the way he catapulted with it. Like he was everywhere. He was everywhere for like a good 5 years at least. He was legitimately inescapable. And he it's an unparalleled run. An unparalleled run as far as and not just popularity, like in quality of music too.
Yes,
like you take that stretch from the first Carter, which was what 2004. You can take that on to like 2009, and like legitimately, he was number one. Like you could see it. You could see it from the beginning. Like 04, he wasn't the biggest rapper in 04. 50 Cent had just dropped Get Rich or Die Trying. Jay-Z had the Black album. But you could see from there where he was headed. And Kanye had dropped College Dropout during that time too. But it was just like there was so much quality from the Carter and the Carter 2 to the mixtape series, the Drought and Dedication. Like there's so much quality. And it's a level of consistency that we have not seen since then.
I'm really wondering, man, because it's kind of like I feel like this is what I'll say. I feel like if Scarface gets replaced, it has to be Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody else.
Yeah.
That's the only
Wayne. Wayne is close to non-negotiable territory for me.
But we gon' hold on. if we do the West Coast, this is what I'll say. If we do the West Coast, it has to be. This is what I think is the West Coast. It has to be where Tupac is non-negotiable.
Hmm.
I kind of NWA for impact, I'd have to do it, but at the same time, for the actual music, I don't. I
Well,
will.
let
I,
me let me explain why I had them there. Um,
no, it makes
I'm a
sense.
bit because and it's not just NWA, like not talking about the NWA album specifically, but I'm like pretty big Ice Cube guy, and I feel like Ice Cube is Ice Cube is to the West Coast what Scarface is to the South.
That's better than like if you say Ice Cube. If Ice Cube, if you just said Ice Cube was, if you just said Ice Cube, I would agree.
See, but that's the reason I said NWA because I was just like, because it's easier to just say, okay, well, we ain't got to take up a spot with a bunch of names. Like you know that he's included in that. Just like when we say Outcast, it doesn't, the big boy solo stuff doesn't go away because we said Outcast. It's the same. It's the same concept to me.
So this is what I'll say. I think it's Tupac. I think it's Tupac, Cube, Dr. Dre, and man, it gets tricky.
Yeah, it does.
Cause
Because you got
yeah,
you got
because
Snoop, you got Corrupt, uh, Kendrick, E40, Too Short, and um, there's so many different sounds and
this
so many different so many eras.
this
Is
is this is what I'll say. For me, for the fourth spot, it could be Kendrick, it can be DJ Quick, because DJ Quick was DJ Quick has even admitted this. He was like, "Hey, I always felt like I had the people." I think he said like I always had the people more than Dre did, and like he did it because like he didn't have that big commercial push, I guess. But DJ Quick, Kendrick, um, let's say this, of course, Corrupt, The Game, uh,
hey
Size,
man, hey man. At some point we have to you know it is what it
yeah,
is.
the Game. Ironically enough, well, not even ironic, you can say, of course, you have Too Short, E40, and everything like that, but you can also say, I think he's at the bottom of the list.
Blue.
Yes, you can argue Blue. You can argue, you can argue Q, and you can also argue Nipsey,
Yeah.
even though at the bottom of the list.
No, I mean that's the thing though, man. Like taste is so subjective, and these regions are so like I feel like, and we tried to cover everything, but I don't know if it's possible to. Like I'm sure I'm gonna be listening to this, going back and thinking about artists from the South that we still missed. Like that's just the way that these things go. Like you you can only think of so much at one time. Like you're bound to miss something. But that's okay though. That's what this is about. It's fun. Like this I would hope that, nobody listens and feels like, we hating or we're dismissing an artist of theirs that should be there. Like, especially with you naming DJ Quick. Like if I wanted to look at production, like I could go back to the South and be like, oh, well, we got Lil Jon and we got Manny Fresh. We got, the whole Hot Boys. It's just like there's so much. What makes hip hop so special is that there's so much to pull from. Like you can listen anywhere and find something that you've never heard before. It doesn't matter how many hours you put in listening. Like you can find something new every time. And maybe that sparks, some creativity in you. Who knows?
I agree, man. Like I agree wholeheartedly. But here is my final question. Who in hip hop history you can do from the beginning of hip hop till now? Well, preferably, I want to say between the 90s and now. Who in hip hop history do you think is the most forgotten?
Most forgotten. Most forgotten.
It could be a producer or a rapper.
Since we're talking about producers, since I mentioned producers, since I mentioned this producer's name, I feel like Manny Fresh doing the Tiny Desk with Juvenile. This is like people are speaking on him more, but man, his
Nah,
bag,
man, nah.
his
Niggas,
bag, listen,
niggas,
man,
niggas
listen,
was
man.
niggas was talking filthy during the whole Scott Storch Manny Fresh verses. And niggas don't understand they didn't have that type of technology back then. He was making those beats with the same 10 to 15-ish drums, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. But like he was making crazy ass combinations out of a limited technology, and people don't understand that. That's my thing.
And it's just like, and he's still nice. Like, still, like you can see his production credits from the last couple years and be like, oh, that's still tough.
He's Manny Fresh. Hold on. Manny Fresh is in that class to me of legends I don't think will ever be washed. And when I say that, I mean, you know how people talk about Juicy J or like 3 6 Mafia. They have never shown any signs of being washed. Never. Like, or being, or like, okay. Because even some of the great rappers like Nas, he has shown sometimes like, okay, it's time for me to put the mic down. Production wise, Juicy J and DJ Paul, they have never done that. Never. And I feel like Manny Fresh is in that class too.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. And it's funny because it's funny that you mentioned the Scott Storch verses because I like Scott Storch a lot too. But like
So you hate
I
black
feel
people.
I feel like we came away from that like realizing, well, at least I did. I came away from it realizing how underrated Manny Fresh's catalog is for some. And and you know, that could be because of, you know, the way people think about the South anyway. But he's just like there's so much like even like listening to, for example, the Mahogany off of Wayne's funeral album from like 2 years ago. I think Manny Fresh flipped like a Aaron Allen Kane sample or something. And I was just like, bro, how? How did you hear that? How did you listen to that song and hear that?
That's what I say, man. Like thing about rap and rap production is so crazy. It's like, okay, you heard like, for example, you can hear like something clanging, or like if you drop a pencil or something like that, producer will be like, hey, I can make a beat out of that. Or like niggas see like niggas see like a chair and be like, hey, I can make a whole concept out of this if I really wanted to. Like, I don't think people don't understand how much creativity being a rapper takes. I have the ability to get my thoughts and feelings out on a track in musical form. That's insane. Like it's not. It sounds like, yes, we're all human, but like it sounds unhuman when you put in perspective like that.
Yeah, man. Niggas operate like niggas' brains is wired differently, bro. like it really is, bro. Like it's you listening, this is like, bro, no way. Like, what was it? Like, what was it that made that come to you?
It's it's crazy, man. But we gonna end the episode there. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Me and new stuff on the way, you feel me, all that type of stuff. But other than that, y'all stay easy. We out.